Hello everyone, Johnny Minder here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon FireRed. Last time we started Viridian Forest, so yeah, today we'll continue that. Not sure if we'll finish it, considering all there is to it, and hopefully we'll find that Pokemon I mentioned. If you have already played practically any version of these games, you know which one I'm referring to. But yeah, without further ado, let's start. Yeah, we have 6 Pokemon. Bought some Pokeballs, as mentioned here, as usual. Yeah, then we exited it from there because, yeah, simply to heal. We bought also some antidotes to avoid having to always go back to the Pokemon Center. Although, at least once, if we find that Pokemon, we'll do so. And yeah, we left it once more. But we actually saved again here. So yeah, we can immediately re-enter the forest. As you can see there. Again, the cool intro when you enter this location, such locations in this game. In this version, specifically in FireRed and Leaf Green. But yeah, we checked out practically the whole bottom part here. Pretty sure also up here. Then we went to the right, actually. Here. Checked out what that NPC had to say. We defeated that, our first trainer that isn't a rival. So yeah, we have another one of them, but yeah, first... okay, as you have seen, there's also this whole path of grass. I don't think there are any items there. First we'll check the sign to get it out of the way, and then we'll see what the trainer has to say, and of course also straight up battle him. Is a bug catching boy, as we have seen. Oh yeah, this is the usual useful bulletin board, or however you want to translate that. So yeah, the usual tips. This one says Pokémon Zukan wa Pasokon Su Shinde. Yeah, first and foremost we have Pokémon Zukan, the usual Pokédex. We won't repeat the explanation of it. Topic particle wa written as ha. Pasokon, that we have seen before. It means PC, it's the abbreviation for PC. Pasonar computer. The accent, this one should be accented. No, actually, this is unaccented. I was thinking of another one, of another abbreviation. This one unaccented, so yeah. Be careful, although it makes it more convenient, honestly. While personal computer, of course, is accented. They're both accented, the words on their own, like in English, but you keep when combining them as a compound, personal computer, you keep the accent of the second one, as usual. That's the tendency we have seen so far. Here, although we don't have Pasokon on its own, we have also Tsushin. Tsushin means, I think we might have seen it before. It's a Chinese compound, unaccented, lucky, like most of those are. It means correspondence, communication. transmission, technically then also news, signal, telecommunications. The fundamental meanings are correspondence or more in general communication. I think we might have seen it in this very game at the start thanks to the technology, actually science guy in Japanese, as we have seen, that science is amazing. Technology is incredible, I think, in English, pretty sure in English. But yeah. So yeah, computer, PC communication. The accent should be, I doubt I find it combined here. I actually could find it here. Let's see if it's also present, the accent. Yes. On the online dictionary plus plugin, the plugin for the accent. Yeah, literally would be personal computer communications. And that technically would be pre-internet, and so pre-internet online service in general than simply online communications. But yeah, the accent, it becomes a compound, as mentioned, of course. Here it follows the usual rule of those in which the first mora of the second word gets accented, if it already isn't. Cioè, the accent here is passo con sushin de. So yeah, passo con, we don't change that, low, high, high, high. High for the tsu, and then everything else low. So yeah, typical accent for such compounds, as we have seen before, but yeah, it's quite important. Last but not least, here we have the particle de. Here, most likely in its meaning with, as in the means, so yeah, with online communications. And then it continues, yeah, it doesn't stop here. And yeah, it says, Okido hakase ni mite moraeru. And yeah, it's, we have Okido hakase, again, Professor Oak, in Japanese, doctor, as in PhD, Okid, that's the name of Oak in Japanese. Most likely the accent, as we have seen actually for hakase, should stay on the ha. Again, for the rule just mentioned, and also even more so considering that hakase also on its own is accented on the ha of the first mora. As a reminder, quickly, again, mora also beat the Japanese term haku. And yeah, practically corresponds, apart from the small yayu-yo and aiu-eo, which go together with the previous one. Everything else corresponds to a single kana symbol. So can be the same as a syllable, but can be also shorter. And both actually moras and syllables are at play in Japanese, especially when it comes to the accent. Sorry, it's worth keeping in mind both concepts. But yeah, then we have the particle ni. Technically, in this case, by would be. We'll see in what way it's slightly different in this case, but you'll see why. When we check out the verb, yeah, mite moraeru. Yeah, mite, first and foremost, miru, to see, to look at, to watch. Ru verb is some verb, so we can drop the ru, make the continuative form, but in this case simply to attach the te and make that a form. The form required because then we had morau. Morau means to receive on its own, unaccented. And so when used after the form of a verb, it acts like verbs of giving. And yeah, in those cases, do the favor of doing the action of the verb in te. Here, of course, actually receive the favor of someone else. And that's why then we have that hokido hakase ni with as the particle used for the by to specify the one that does the action. As we have seen, the ni particle is also used in a sense of by, even more so, strictly speaking, with passive verbs. So yeah, same usage technically in a way. Yeah, with that meaning, here we don't have simply morau, we have, it's a u verb colon verb, so we can change the u into e and then add ru to make the potential form of the verb. So yeah, can receive the favor of Professor Oct, looking at, literally. So yeah, the translation here is that, yeah, with the online communication, the personal-computer communication, literally, as mentioned already, yeah, you can receive the favor of Professor Ock of it, or we could make it a passive technically, of it being looked by Professor Ock to keep that, or simply Professor Ock looking at it. So yeah, that's why. So yeah, there's that function technically of the Pokédex that you can ask Ock for an evaluation. I don't think Ock's evaluation through the Pokédex do anything, but I'm currently forgetting. There is an evaluation for the Pokédex in another sense, but we'll see it when the time comes for it. Yeah, let's tackle this trainer now. Oi! Funny enough, again with also the small tsu then at the end. So yeah, first we have the longer vowel oi, and then an abrupt end with technical glottal stop. Oi! But yeah, we have seen already this oi with the longer vowel, but actually even on its own. But even often here with the longer vowel for emphasis. Well, shorter usually it's hey, which is male, familiar language, also male term or language. With the longer vowel, more in general, should be yeah, it becomes the one we have actually seen before, a hey, but yeah, simply from a distance. And funny enough, yeah, familiar, yes, even in that case you could say it, even though the dictionary doesn't specify it. Definitely not strictly male term or language. So funny enough, I've mentioned that the first time I ever heard it was when I actually played Wind Waker, so yeah, way before I started as a kid, so yeah, way before studying Japanese. Because yeah, your sister says it, as we'll see when we play eventually Wind Waker for the channel. But yeah, hey, yeah, considering that here we got closer to him, but yeah, you could technically walk from the left, so even more so. So yeah, to call for the to someone. Then he says, and I actually can send that away first. Pokémon Torena nara Shobu wa Kotoware nai ze. Yeah, actually the rule of Pokemon games that we see. But yeah, first we have Pokemon Torena, Pokemon Trainer, simply from English. Then we have Nara. We have seen it before. In general, would be a form of the conditional in Japanese. If, this one specifically if. Not if, when, and it's also in a temporal sense like the other forms of the conditional. More literally would be if that's the case, or better, being that the case, because it's actually the form of the conditional is shortened here. Technically, it would have a ba also. Again, ba we have seen another form of the conditional in general, also in contemporary Japanese. But yeah, this one with nara, so actually nari, the classical copula. Yeah, literally being that the case, being a Pokemon trainer in our case here. But yeah, also used technically. Yeah, in the sense, if it is the case that, if it is true that, sorry, if you are a Pokemon trainer, can also be used funny in a sense actually as a kind of like an as for, so yeah, similar to the topic particle, but yeah, this one of course stronger than the regular topic particle. But yeah, all come from that original meaning. But yeah, if you are a Pokemon trainer, funny enough, after it we have Shobu, match, battle in the case of Pokemon games in English. Accent on the first word, it's the second most common accent for Chinese compounds. Literally victory or defeat, based on also its kanji. Yeah, funny enough, after it we have the topic particle wa, and then we have the verb kotoware nai, which comes from kotowaru, which I don't think we have seen before. It means to refuse, to reject, to dismiss, and so on. Some other extended meanings, but yeah, this is the fundamental one. Accented, yeah, wanted to check that. U verb colon verb. So again, we can change first and foremost the U into E and add ru. We can see the ru because of further conjugation to make the potential form of the verb. Can, refuse. But then, potential form of verbs are ru verbs, ichidan verbs, so we can drop the ru to make the irrealis, not yet state form. In nowadays, we could simply say negative form of the verb, negative base stem of the verb, used in combination with nai, the adjective which means non-existent, to make the negative form of the verb in plain speech. So I actually cannot refuse. And then last but not least, the particle se, we have already seen, familiar language, male term or language. Here I'd say simplified force or emphasis. Not, well, technically potentially threatening, but yeah, relatively so. But yeah. Yeah, we can start this fight. We are against, again, the bug catching boy, the insect catching boy, Osamu. Yeah, Osamu, given name, in Japanese. You might know a pretty famous one. Sorry. Osamu Tezuka. Of course, actually in Japanese would be the other way around. Tezuka Osamu. Surname and then given name. Oh yeah, pretty. So yeah, we have that. It comes technically from a verb. So if I recall correctly, the rules I've seen before, it should be unaccented, the name, because if I recall correctly, given names from verbs should always be unaccented. Nouns should keep the accent overall. Adjectives are accented. But yeah, I think those were the rules I've seen mentioned before. But yeah, regardless, yeah, we have the catching boy Osamu, and the usual that he challenged us to a fight, a Pokemon battle. So yeah, let's actually start it. Sending a Weedle as usual. Actually, I switch immediately to Bulbasaur in this case. Let's see. Yeah, because of that, because of the poison. I think straight up poison type Pokemon can't be poisoned. So that, for that reason, especially I sent Bulbasaur, apart from it being of course our strongest Pokemon. I really hope PG will level up enough to get its first flying type move. And so we can start using PG also for... okay, after using that we can move on to Tackle. We can start using PG also for these fights. So yeah, that's why I want to train first and foremost PG. After that, Mankey for what's coming after Viridian Forest. And then everyone else, and of course also technically Bulbasaur, but it's already our strongest Pokemon anyway. I would like it to get our first attacking grass type move. By the way, I haven't mentioned it yet. Although so far we only have these two, so actually Bulbasaur is perfect. When you choose a move, we have, of course, on the bottom right, PP, power points of moves, just like in English. Then we have Waza type. Yeah, Waza, we've already seen. Technique, art, skill, move. Oh yeah, more in general, the fundamental meaning, I'd say technique. In the sense also for then art, skill. Oh yeah, technically move, so like in our case here in Pokemon games, accented on the last syllable on its own was a type from English. Of course, in this case, literally as type, the one for Pokemon types. The accent, accented on its own, perfect. I suspect so accented, just like in English, of course, on the ta. I suspect the accent, as technically it would become a compound, would be on the first more of the second word, so still on ta. Because of the rule, or at the very least tendency we have already seen before in this very episode. But yeah, what I wanted to mention, we have Nomaru. Normal, from English. this one should also be accented on its own. Well, on like in English, yes, it is. Wanted to show, and this is why it came to mind, that we have now a grass type move. So actually, grass type is Xa. Yeah, literally grass, as we have already seen. The would barely heard it at all because it's within our voice consonants. The accent is on the Sa. So, yeah. Most wouldn't keep the accent on a syllable, on a mora, more specifically, with a barely heard it at all vowel. So, yeah, it's accented, and so on the only other mora available, Sa, Xa. But yeah, we can actually defeat this Weedle. Yeah, these attacks we have already checked before, so we don't need to check them again. Perfect. Okay, yeah, perfect. PG got to level 5. Learned, unfortunately, not yet the I don't remember that. I think it's simply normal, or even if it's flying, it's not an attacking type move, because yeah, it's Sunakake. I think we have seen it in action already and translated it, so thanks to our rivals PG. Yeah, it's I don't remember its English name, but yeah, it's the one. Sand attack, I think. Actually, so yeah. But yeah, we've already seen it. Nice that Bulbasaur is getting closer to leveling up as well. Okay, first and foremost, then I'll actually switch to Mankey. I would like also to train Caterpie and Weedle. But yeah, of course. My focus is on the first 3 Pokemon here for the reasons mentioned. Then the other ones I would like to, but we'll see. So yeah, first and foremost, actually Mankey. To give it some experience, but I'll switch again to Bulbasaur once more. Unfortunately, especially with these low-level Pokemon, and unlike modern games where you automatically have experience share active, here no, this is the only way to train them until you find that that key item. So yeah, by the way, on it, personally, I'm so glad that that's available in from the start in more recent games. I think it's unfortunate that it's not toggleable, because honestly, for those who prefer this style, it would be nice if they could play that way. But yeah, for most, to be completely honest, yeah, it's way more convenient. Because yeah, training all these Pokemon, as I mentioned, yeah, doing it that way, it would have been perfectly easy. Would have saved a lot of time, and with to avoid also all this switching back and forth. But yeah, oh well. We missed our attack there. Doesn't particularly matter since we defeat it soon enough anyway. Perfect. Yeah, level 10 for Fushigedane. Okay, yeah. And Bulbasaur, as for Bulbasaur, it learned, yeah, what the usual structure. Name of Pokemon, Wa, Topic Particle, name of the new attack, object, particle o written swarm, and pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. Oboetà, cioè learn, more strictly technically memorized, learn by heart, by simply in general. Learn in its star form, so yeah, past form of the verb. We have seen this before. What we haven't seen is the name of this move. And yeah, now we finally got our first grass move, attacking grass move for Bulbasaur, which is Tsuru no Muchi. First we have Tsuru, which is, well, in this, there are technically several Tsuru. This one should be, well, is clearly based on the context, as we see, the one for Vine. Technically would use a kanji, even though nowadays it's usually written using kana alone anyway. Accent on the last syllable, tsuru. It's worth mentioning that with the same accent, there's also another word with a kanji in this case actually used, even nowadays usually, which means bow string, or then simply string in general, most likely actually related. You can easily see why. And actually, my guess would be related to the verb unaccented one, which means to hang, to suspend. Several other extended meanings, but yeah, that's the fundamental one. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it were related because of that. Oh yeah, anyway, this one for Vine. A noun, we have then the possessive particle no. So here actually I will still keep it in the order Vine, something else, another noun. In other case it would be z, also could work, or off Vine. And by the way, the accent of Tsuru actually becomes unaccented in this case because of the particle no. It's a rule of that particle specifically, except with some exceptions, most likely when it was actually not applied such a rule in certain compounds, in certain fixed expressions. But yeah, nowadays this is the rule. Technically makes it easier. But yeah. Then we have the noun Muchi. Oh yeah, Muchi means, you might have guessed based on the vine, which attack this is. Yeah, it's Vine Whip. Yeah, pretty sure it's straight up called like that also in English. So yeah, Muchi, actually accent on the first Mora, Muchi. There's another, well, there are technically more than Muchi than that one. But yeah, no, in this case it's this one. Usually written again with kana alone. There are technically as a kanji, more than one potentially, but only one is usually used when you take out the kanji usually. But yeah, whip. Cioè Tsuru no Muchi. Fine whip. Oh yeah. So perfect, we finally have that. Oh, and then we have this Pokemon. By the way, I don't remember if we've actually translated this, but I feel like we should have. If we haven't, I simply mentioned that means yeah, no, we have seen it because yeah, it becomes to send out one after the other. In this case specifically, yeah, then the usual volitional form to, suru, try to do. So yeah, the new part, which we'll actually see in a second. Yeah, I want to actually show it. No, we do it again. Actually, depending on its level, we might be fine anyway, because actually the next Pokemon is Cocoon. Yeah, actually, Kakuna's Japanese name is straight up Cocoon. So yeah, Cocoon from English. So really easy. Let me check the accent. Can't find it there. I'll quickly take out the physical dictionary to see if it's present there. Got the physical dictionary. Let's see quickly. You can find it there. Cocoon. I have doubts considering that, of course, yeah, no, usually it isn't used in Japanese. Because of course we have yeah, no, then it finds other words similar, but yeah, no, not that one. Because of course we have a Japanese term for cocoon, which is actually Mayu. Accent on the first Mora. Actually, you might have heard it before as a proper name, a given name, female one. Yeah. It comes from that technically, but yeah. So yeah, let's. I'll actually give it. I suspect this one, considering its level, should have that attack. We'll give it one try. Well, first it has the typical attack of this. I will take it. Yeah, even more so considering that regardless, it's better to take out Bulbasaur. But yeah, the attack here, I wasn't thinking of this, is harden in English. Again, in Japanese it's Katakunaru. It's actually from Katai. Should be an accent, we have seen it before. The adjective, which means hard. Technically, you can use different kanji depending on the material. But yeah, an accent, yes. Hard, solid, tough, several other extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental one is hard, as in solid, tough. The adjective, so we can drop the E, add ku to make a continuative form of the verb technically. Nowadays we could also call it adverbial form, because yeah, it's actually used also to make the adverb from E adjectives. in this case actually required by the naru, a verb which means to become, accented. But yeah, it requires to say become something, in our case actually become, in the state of the adjective, but yeah, it can also be used. The same rule technically applies to non-adjectives and nouns. Yeah, we have to make what's quote-unquote the adverbial form of those, or better, in the case of non-adjectives and also nouns, we would use ni, most likely actually the continuative form of nari, again the classical copula. But yeah, regardless, become into technically. So you can also remember the ni because of that, regardless of its origin. But yeah, for e-adjectives you have to make them into ku. So yeah, literally become hard, as in solid, tough. Yeah. So yeah, by the way, the adjective unaccented, so we should only keep the accent of naru. So yeah, you can see why it became harden. Yeah, strictly speaking, become hard in Japanese. And then, of course, used o tsukata, that we have seen before. I can quickly show, but yeah, its effect, you might already know it. Funny enough, we've actually seen it technically in action, while not the effect here in mainline Pokemon games, but we've actually played the mini games in Pokemon Stadium as a mostly just for fun stream. So we have seen Harden also there. But yeah, here in Pokemon games, in mainline Pokemon games, it increases, well, literally the defense strength, the defense value went up. So yeah, as that effect, and yeah, that's also the reason why I'd say it's better to switch to Bulbasaur regardless, to of course use some parasitic seed. I still don't remember how it's actually called technically in English. I'm currently forgetting again. But yeah, we'll use that, so these won't be influenced by the defense, unlike our other attacks, which will. So to avoid making it last way too long. It's not straight up a fight of Kakuna and of course also Metapod against another one. We can actually show that quickly. Yeah, not the best. Not only because it's actually a physical. I think it should still. No, I'm not sure actually because of the lack of physical and special split. I think it's actually special in this case. Grass moves. We'll see it. But yeah, not the best still because of this. Koka wa imai hitotsu no yoda. First and foremost, we have Koka. This one I think we have seen before. Regardless, it means effect. Chinese compound. So actually, this one accent on the first mora. I think actually, yeah, it is. There are other Coca, but yeah, this one clearly that, based on also on the context. Effect, cioè, pretty easy. I think, yeah, I think we might actually have seen it because of the term ongaku koka. Well, ongaku, not that actually. Should be onkyo koka, the usual term, which would be sound effects then. Yeah. And by the way, another example of a compound, as in a big compound, not a simple two kanji Chinese compound. Here we have four, combining two words straight up. The accent again on the first more of the second word, but yeah. Regardless, effect. Topic particle wa. And then we have this ima hitotsu. Which clearly, yeah, it's pretty easy to guess from what it comes from, but technically is considered an expression, an adverb in practice. Here actually used with then the possessive particle no, and so actually, well, in this case, actually required to attach it to the following word, strictly speaking, to attach it to a following noun, as we say. But yeah, it comes from ima, on its own accent on the I, on the first mora, now. Don't think we've actually studied this kanji yet, despite then we have hitotsu, that one we have seen before, the usual numeral plus counter combination with tsu, the general purpose counter of strictly Japanese origin, and that's why it uses hito as the number one, the strictly Japanese one. Cioè, literally one, now one, so actually used technically for one more, another one, can also be used, and this is our usage here. Not quite, not entirely, not enough, somewhat lacking. So yeah, it's in that sense. And then yeah, after it we have the possessive particle no, because yeah, after it we have yo, strictly speaking, a noun. So yeah, that's why here technically used the usage with well, this one more than those is simply it seems, it looks like, so yeah, it's in that meaning. Usually actually, well, here we can see it with not a noun exactly, but usually it would be a noun, possessive particle no, and then yo. With the meaning usually, then we can also find it with verbs. But yeah, there's also that. But yeah, clearly it seems. Then last but not least, the copula da, so yeah, in plain speech. Cioè, as for the effect, it looks like, it seems that it wasn't, it was somewhat lacking, implied. So yeah, it's not very effective. Yeah, this is the expression for that in Japanese. So yeah, not the best. Although unfortunately, yeah, I tried going for that to see, because actually, yeah, it is, it should be special, I think. But yeah, it has that issue, so yeah, also doesn't inflict much damage. But yeah, as you can see also, the regularly effective tackle doesn't do much because of all these hardens. But yeah. And this is exactly why I wanted to use that move of Bulbasaur first and foremost to avoid it. Make it last even longer than it already is. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, one last event of this straight up. And yeah, we are getting some good experience actually here, thanks to it being an evolved Pokemon and also pretty a higher level. And yeah, we have won against Osamu, the bug-catching boy. And then again we see Are. Huh? By the way, this Are actually, despite this usage, most likely is simply from Are. I think, I'm not sure I've mentioned it when we've seen it previous time. From the Kosodo series, Ko goes to both the speaker and the listener. So far from the speaker goes to the listener, far from both. Though the interrogative Koso are usually an accented, though accented on itself. With the Re, it becomes the demonstrative pronoun, so that, in this case, that technically over there. Oh yeah, from that we get this huh? Which indicates surprise, suspicion. But yeah, my guess is that that's well, actually I can't think of other origins technically, but yeah, when you see an Are there like that at the start, here straight up only that, with then the question mark to show the intonation of the question, huh? And then it says Pokemon mo Pokemon ga nai ya. Okay. But yeah, first we have mo Hindi technical in its own already. Yet, but yeah, with a negative, as we see soon enough. Not anymore, not any longer. Pokemon, subject particle ga, and then we have nai, again the adjective, which means non-existent on its own. It's also straight up used actually as the negative form in plain speech of aru, which on its own means to be, as in to exist, of inanimate things. So rude, by the way, saying that for Pokemon here. For Pokemon, you might be inclined to use Iru to be as in to exist of animate things, so people and animals. But yeah, regardless, yeah, it replaces the Aru to make the negative, because instead of conjugating it, yeah, it already has the same meaning, non-existent, so yeah, you simply do that. Last but not least, we have this ya at the end. As a final sentence particle. I think we might have seen it before, and we weren't completely sure about it. I think my conclusion was simply an O, but yeah, the usual surprise, I'd say, in this case. Let me see if I can actually straight up find it. Yeah, we have the other usages. Yeah, to emphasis. well, actually, emphasis with the imperative or optative, sorry, the volitional. Actually also used to show indifference. Actually, that usage I've seen before also. But yeah, of course, then we've seen it also in other usages. But yeah. Regardless, the general meaning is simply, yeah, I don't have any more Pokemon. Got some money, as usual, some N. Let's quickly check what he has to say after speaking to him again outside of the battle. And then we take our usual break as usual. Yeah, first he says Kuyashi na. Kuyashi is an adjective which means frustrated, disappointed, and so on. Vexed, or something is frustrating, we could also say. Yeah, straight up used, as we can see here, as an exclamation when one is frustrated over a failure and so on. Accent, kuyashi. Then last but not least, we have the final sentence particle na. I'd say, as we have seen, it can simply replace ne or yo, right, or you know, or hey. I'd say most likely a yo in this case, or it could technically be, well, clearly it's here anyway. It specifies that intensifies that it's frustrating. The meaning of that adjective. And then he says, Tsuyoi no tsukamaete koyo. Yeah, first he says Tsuyoi, strong, another adjective. After it we have the no, so in this case actually the nominalizer, or better I'd say in this case actually simply a pronoun, one, once. Of course, in reference to implied Pokemon. Some strong, we could say in English, some strong, a strong one, or some strong ones, more in general. Object particle, tsukamaete, tsukamaeru, the usual verb we have seen to catch, especially in this very series for obvious reasons. Verb is a verb. You can drop the ru, make the conjugative form. In this case, simply attach the tet, make the form. Last but not least, we have koyo. So yeah, the form is required because then we had the verb kuru, to come. Which unfortunately is completely irregular, just like suru. So we have to remember that we change the eating to ko and then add yo-u, so actually long yo, to make the volitional form. In this case, technically the volitional form could be let's, yeah, not the best. I'd say in this case, I'm willing to do the action of the verb. Technically, by adapting it, that's then I'd simply use a future I will. But yeah, we use the form is required because yeah, when you to then use a verb of movement like kuru in our case here, and so do the action of the verb literally and come. You can keep it like that, the usual usage of that form. Or also, straight up, do the action of that verb. Well, actually, in this case, it's better like that, as we'll see. In other cases, do the action of that verb with that kind of movement. So yeah, towards when something, in that case, usually when something comes towards whoever is speaking, it could the opposite, going away from them. But yeah, in this case, literally simply catch and come. Of course, in the sense, actually come back technically. But yeah, so the translation is simply I catch a strong or some strong ones, as in Pokemon, and come back. So yeah, we got to see that. I'd say we can quickly take our usual break, around 5 minutes, most likely slightly less. And when we'll be back, we'll actually continue going around the forest. Let me actually quickly... no, I want to train PG first and foremost still. So actually, this is perfect. I quickly save just to be completely sure. Perfect. Yeah, so see you in around 5 minutes against slightly less. And we're back. And yeah, so we can continue. Okay. Let's go up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there isn't anything here, and I'm not checking. We have an item straight up here, an antidote, again, as usual in Japanese. Simply poison deleting, erasing literally. Yeah, we've already got a lot of those straight up, bought several of them. On this side I think there might... okay, no. Actually, yeah, this is how we can proceed. So let me quickly check above here first. First and foremost, yeah, we have another trainer, so let's tackle that. And yeah, this one says, 僕が小さいからって手加減は嫌だよ。And yeah, first we have 僕、first person singular pronoun, I, method more language, accent on the first word, 僕, on the bo. Then we have the subject particle が小さい, we have already seen it in this very series. Small, accent should be, yes it is. Then we have kara. In this case, since it comes immediately after an adjective, it should be, and also based on the context anyway, the conjunction because, since as, because. After it we have double consonant te. So yeah, actually, fundamentally, it could be the casual quoting particle from to. To is the regular one, regular quoting particle. Technically, there are other usages of te, so we actually see it when translating. Then we have take again. We haven't seen it before. This term. It's technically a compound noun from te. The te is clearly the usual te we have already seen and even studied its kanji, which means a hand, the fundamental meaning, accented on its own. And then we have this kagen, an accent, yeah, it's a Chinese compound, which has the meanings literally, actually, so mentioning, it uses the kanji for add, addition, and the one for decrease. So yeah, or increase or decrease, literally. Yeah, it's another one of those Chinese compounds with those two opposing meanings. We've seen it, for example, straight up in this series, in this episode, Shobu, victory or defeat, which then by extension becomes match, here Pokemon battles. So yeah, kagen, from that clearly original meaning based on the kanji, yeah, technically it has addition and subtraction also as a meaning, but more often than not it's actually degree, extent, amount, balance, and so on, state, condition. So yeah, extended from that, also can be used for a health condition or state of health. Adjustment, moderation, regulation, also by further extension. So yeah, te kagen, which becomes accent on the ka, unsurprisingly, because again, that would be the first moral of the second word part of the compound, so again the usual rule, or tendency at the very least. Most likely its original meaning is literally measuring by feel, with a hand, by feel in that sense, literally speaking, and then measuring, like again we've seen, adjusting by feel, doing by feel. By extension, it becomes adapting to the situation, strength, strictness, and so on, using discretion, going easy on someone, and that's clearly actually our meaning here. So yeah. Most likely the te above is actually more a contraction of to you. So again, actually, we have technically the to of the quotation, but implied also, including the verb you, unaccented on its own means to say. Also, yeah, simply used for quotation, say, and then a quotation. Then we have the topic particle wa, and then last but not least, ya. This is an adjective which means disliking, not wanting, unwilling to do, reluctant, unpleasant, disagreeable. And yeah, also used as an exclamation, usually. No, quit it, stop. So yeah. The translate, well, last but not least, we have the copula da, because yeah, it's an adjective as mentioned. And also the final sentence particle yo. Here I'd say actually in its translation, hey. Yeah, so it's saying going easy. And then technically the te, because we would have open a quotation, because we could say it's I dislike it, or stop it, don't do it, by adapting it, and then the yo, yeah, as a hey. So yeah, so I can tackle this trainer battle as well. This one is the usual, the same trainer class, the catching boy. This one called Shunsuke. I don't remember the older rules of the accents with suke as a suffix. Which, by the way, technically the accent of the, well, the u of su is barely heard, if at all, because it's between our voice consonants. It's worth mentioning, yeah, in general, simply that suke is actually a suffix used for names of male given names. So yeah, actually pretty, we'll see it again for sure. But yeah, let's continue. Oh yeah, first we have a Caterpie. Okay, so in this case I can actually try training PG. Not sure how much. Okay, if Caterpie uses especially those instead of tackle, we could be able to defeat it straight up only with PG. Poppo is a reminder in Japanese, as you can see on screen. Perfect, continues to not attack here. Okay, now he's attacking as well. But yeah, glad to see a Caterpie so we can keep a Pokemon and not have to switch to Bulbasaur. And so with that, PG increases to level 6. Level 7 actually even. Wow. Not enough, unfortunately, for a new move. I didn't pay too much attention, but I think it said Caterpie again. I try keeping PG, even though I have... well, I could always use a potion, technically, if needed. I fear that it might defeat our PG with a single tackle, because of course there's the potential of critical hits, and even on its own is kind of risky considering the higher level here. Okay, no. Okay. Yeah, no. The risk is with... I was thinking too much, because yeah, it's only one level over us. Good thing it used the other attack. And it keeps on using it. Perfect. But yeah, of course, by the way, we are dealing more damage with our tackles anyway, thanks to the same attack, same type attack bonus stab. We got a good amount of experience for our PG here, thanks to that. Still not, I think maybe at level 9 we get the attacker. And yeah, here it simply says, ah, dame da. First we have that ah with the longer vowel, so yeah, like ah in English. But yeah, also longer ah. Then we have dame, another of those expressions, those negative expressions, an accent on the last syllable, this one. It's a weird term, by the way, because technically uses a Chinese reading plus a strictly Japanese one. Well, it's worth mentioning that technically the Chinese reading is forced because if you use that kanji, because it only uses nowadays the Chinese readings. But yeah, then a strictly Japanese word, the me is again actually I, and several extended meanings. But yeah, regardless, it means as this na adjective, no good, not serving its purpose, useless, hopeless, wasted. In a certain expression, then also straight up cannot, as in must not, not allowed. And then also used as another expression as no, stop, cioè similar to yeah, yeah. Here actually we use this one because yeah, it's actually simply it's not good, it's no good, even better. After it we have the copula again, adjective once more, also with a longer vowel to add emphasis again. Straight up meaning the pronunciation. Ah, dame da. Here. Oh yeah, so it's no good. Yeah, we got some money as usual. Let's see what he says. Yeah. He says, Okozukai ga hette shimatta. Yeah, we've seen before the term Okozukai, because it's the one shown in the shops, as we have seen in this very series. It's pocket money, from honorific prefix so. Ko is the prefix, which means small, little. Zukai from tsukai, actually tsukau, a verb, which in general this one would technically use a different kanji in this case than the usual one, but it's still the one that means to use. Can also be used, then we change verb gonna verb, we change the u into i to make the conjugative form, used also as the corresponding noun. In this case, actually used could be usage. Can also have the meaning by extension, most likely. Errand, mission, going on an errand, because you technically use a person. Yeah, that's the meaning, to use a person, to employ a person for something, so in that sense. But yeah, here simply use implied money. Little money, so yeah, actually this Okozukai. On its own, Kozukai actually accent on the first mora. I'm not sure with the honorific prefix. I think we might have searched for it, but I don't remember. We'll quickly check. But yeah, it means from literally little money, as in the usage of money. Yeah, pocket money. So yeah, we have that. Let me quickly find it if we can find it. Kozukai. I'm not sure if I find it, by the way, on its own here. Let me search with the honorific prefix already, Okozukai. Would be weird to straight up not find the term at all. Okay, it's not present, not sure. So yeah, we can confirm it. If it keeps the accent of Kozukai on its own, so yeah, on the first mora, or it changes. If it changes, my guess it could be that it becomes an accent, but yeah, we can't confirm it. Subject particle ga, and then the verb hette, to decrease. And yeah, funny enough, it's remember that I mentioned that that meaning for ka again. Yeah, it's the same kanji. Again, of course, it's Chinese reading. So yeah, because of that. But yeah, here with the strictly Japanese reading, the verb heru, unaccented actually, heru. We have seen it before, the verb. Actually, despite ending in eru, it's actually a u verb colon verb, because yeah, usually verbs in eru and iru are ru verbs, Ichidan verbs, but there are some exceptions which you have to straight up remember. Of course, you can straight up see it, like in this case, because of how you further conjugate it. U verb colon verb, so we have to follow the rules, it's in ru to make that a form. Becomes double consonant te. Again, we change the u into i to make the conjugative form heri te, but then the i fell her te, difficult to pronounce, simply doubling of the following consonant. Hette. The form required because then we had shimatta from shimau, on its own, to end, to finish, also to put away, as we have seen in this very series also. But used after the form of a verb, it has the meanings to end, to finish, as in doing completely an action of a verb. More often than not, actually, the most common usage is to end up doing, as in doing accidentally and so on, the action of the verb. And yeah, it's used like that. And also used by the way, as an exclamation, shimatta. So yeah, I ended up doing something that I didn't want to do. And also here with the longer vowel. By the way, shimau, verb colon verb. So yeah, to make that a form, we have to follow the rules. It's in u, so it actually was originally in pu. And so change the u into i. Shimapita, the i file, shimapta, difficult to pronounce again, so double consonant. The form is a past form of the verb in plain speech. Here with also a longer vowel again because of the effect, the emphasis. Shimatta! So yeah, he says that implied his pocket money allowance ended up decreasing because he had to pay us because we won against him in that Pokemon battle. Okay. Okay, let me quickly... Okay. Okay. We got lucky. Well, not for the level, but who cares? We got the Pokemon I wanted to find. Yeah, it says, yes and no, Pikachu ga Tobidashite kita. The usual. Yeah, we have Pikachu. First, we'll actually send our Pokemon. Not the best here, regardless, even though I'm not sure if it already has an electric attack. I think sending Bulbasaur with the too high level and also the using the parasitic seed, forgetting the exactly Japanese, the English name, not the best. I'd say let's send, actually let's risk it even less, let's send the Caterpie. I think we have seen this before, but I'll quickly mention it again, just to be sure. Yeah, I think we might have seen it with Charmander, but I'll quickly mention it again. Nakigoe, this one should be straight up growl in English. In Japanese, it's actually cry of an animal. Literally, we combined from the verb naku. This one, because it's worth mentioning, that one I for sure I don't think I mentioned before. Naku, unaccented with a certain kanji, means to make sound of an animal, to call, to cry. Yeah, of animals. But there's also with another kanji, naku should still be unaccented and is clearly related, means to cry, as in our usual crying also of us. Cry, tears. But regardless, verb colon verb, we change the U into E to make the conjugative form. So, crying, in this case, clearly specifically actually of animals. And then we have goe. From koe becomes voiced the consonant because it's the second word part of a compound, is of even more so is of strictly Japanese origin, and so that more often than not happens to those. Koe on its own, accent on the first more, means voice. So yeah, literally would be, and several extended meanings, but yeah, literally crying voice of an animal. So simply cry. But yeah, I think we've actually seen it before, but it's what at the very least I mentioned if I hadn't the relation with the other naku. By the way, they mentioned the accent now of nakigoe here. Actually, again, the accent on the first mora of the second word part of the compound, so on the go, could be simply because of koe, the accent of koe on its own, but again, more likely than not, it's actually because of the rules, or at the very least sentences of the accent in compounds. But yeah, the usual one that decreases the attack. Yeah, let's actually try to catch it. Okay, it already has this attack, so actually quickly show it. So good thing I didn't keep, apart that it was really hurting anyway, PG. It has Denki Shock. Denki means electricity, accent on the first more, so yeah, denki, on the de. Literally, as we see, you might have guessed it also on your own. The key is the usual key for spirit, mind, heart, several extended meanings. But yeah, the den is actually on its own the kanji that means electricity, and then is further specified by this key to say that yeah, it's the electricity in that literally would be electric spirit, but yeah, no, simply as in electricity. And then shokku. So yeah, literally shock from English. Notice the doubling of the consonant, unlike English. The additional U, of course, because the K can stay on its own. The accent should be the same as in English, as it is. Shock, yeah, from English. In this case, technically, physical, well, more as actually in jolt. Can also be shock, an emotional shock. More often than not, most likely you find it actually in that sense nowadays in Japanese. But yeah, so literally electric, from electricity, then we can adapt it into electric, the adjective electric shock. I think in English it's thunder shock, or actually thunderbolt. I'm currently forgetting, but yeah. Anyway, it's the basic electric attack in Pokemon games, and yeah, the one Pikachu usually has. Yeah, let's go back. Yeah, I added, I put Caterpie to be sure not to hurt it too much, but actually I make it longer here with this, also with auto that attack reduction. I might have to switch to another Pokemon. Yeah, I really have to for Caterpie. We send Rattata then. Hopefully one tackle with... I didn't send Rattata from the start because of stab. But hopefully one won't be... well, as soon as we actually hit it, won't be too much. Let's hope we don't get a critical. Okay, we didn't. And then I use a Pokeball. Okay. Yeah, Pokeball. Perfect. And we caught Pikachu. And so we get our Pokédex page, and yeah, this time I'm not pressing it by mistake. Above, as usual, Mori no Pokémon, so forest Pokémon, Mori forest unaccented. The name of the Pokémon is Pikachu, yeah, same as in English. You might already know the origin of its name because of that, but I'll quickly mention it again. Comes from two onomatopoeias, Pika Pika, which means with a glitter, a sparkle. By extension, then it becomes that's so that with the glitter sparkle, brand new, as in shiny and new, or a cleaned of a plate and so on. Because technically you you leave the plate sparkling because you it's cleaned. That one, the last one, actually children's language. But yeah. And by the way, there are also alternatives. Pika Pika, with only the doubling of the first K. And also Bika Bika, yeah, that one is actually more typical, with the voiced consonants as more emphatic. this one is because the difference between onomatopoeias when they have such variants. The ones with the voiceless consonants are a lighter, less intense action. Those with the voiced consonants are heavier, more intense actions. We've seen it before and we'll see it again. But yeah, Pika Pika, as I mentioned, as you can also clearly tell, an onomatopoeia. Actually, this one, and we've seen it before, accented on the K, but that actually makes sense because the E of P becomes barely heard if at all, because it's between a voice consonants. So Pika Pika would be Pika Pika. So yeah, usually people don't leave the accent on more as with the vowel barely heard if at all, so it moves on the next one, in this case, on the K, Pika Pika. Technically, with the voiced consonant, it would move back Bika Bika. But yeah, regardless that. And then, last but not least, Chu. From Chu, I should find it like that, I'm pretty sure, yes. Another onomatopoeia. Okay, not present there. Let me quickly see if it's present in the physical dictionary. I have doubts. And I think we actually tried to search it again. My guess would be, again, like most of these onomatopoeias with repetition, accent on the first mora, as usual, but would be great to confirm. Okay, I actually found it in the physical dictionary, and yeah, it can confirm its accent on the first chu. Chu chu. And by the way, yeah, used as an onomatopoeia, but also as the symbol in the dictionary is the one for G. The G, this one, for child, boy. So clearly, as in children's language, Nezumi, as we see in a second. So yeah, actually, also used the squeak squeak would be used by children as the term for mice, mouse, rat. Nezumi, yeah, means mouse is actually the word usually used of strictly Japanese origin for mouse, rat. We've actually seen it before. The origin, it's technically a compound. I suspected it because of the zoo. Ne technically comes, according to Wiktionary, from root. The word for root in this case, it was more under, or actually better, a hidden place, because yeah, technically roots go into the ground because of that, but yeah, on their own, ne means root. Actually, let me straight up take it out again to give you confirmation about that. We should have seen it actually in this very series, because when we checked out rat, I think. Got that because of that. But yeah, ne, for the reason. Yeah, signifying somewhere hidden away, in this case, according to them, yeah, would make sense. Hidden away because of the reason I mentioned, yeah, the roots into the ground, hidden in the ground, technically. Sumi comes from sumu, to live, to reside, to dwell. We change the U into E to make the continuative form, and so the corresponding noun, residing, living, dwelling. Cioè, one implied residing, living in hidden places. So, a good definition for a mouse or a rat. Oh yeah, it was worth mentioning again because we see it then. Nezumi Pokemon, mouse rat Pokemon, height and weight as usual. What's new is, of course, completely new, the description. Hoppeta no Ryogawa ni Chisai Denki Bukuro o Motsu. We have this term, Hoppeta, which actually is a colloquial form for cheek, as in the cheeks, the body part. The accent is on the pe. Actually would come from strictly speaking would be technically be a compound of ho, which on its own would be technically ho o, written with the kana of o instead of the usual u, because actually even that is and it exists still, the alternative form ho ho. So one applying the usual rule of ho, originally po, inside of in the middle of a word, changing the p into w, so technically originally ho wo, but then the w dropped and simply becomes so the ho, actually long ho, a form that actually kept the original ho, of course nowadays ho instead of po, like it is usually at the start of words. It still exists, regardless, cheek of the face. And then we have this peta, which based on also on the kanji comes from, it's the word that means surrounding area, vicinity. Actually on its own would be technically only he. Not sure where the ta comes from. But yeah, regardless, literally would be surrounding area, vicinity of the cheeks. Simply a colloquial term nowadays for cheek. By the way, if you consider that it is actually technically a compound, the accent isn't surprising because it's on the pe, so actually on the first mora of the second word part of the compound. And by the way, we have the doubling of the consonant instead of the additional ho, because if we drop the vowel technically, because it gets contracted, it would already be on a p on its own, doubling the following p of pe, of he. Nowadays he, but originally pe, kept it, which is kept because of the preceding doubling of the consonant. But cheeks, possessive particle no. Ryogawa, technically, it's a compound not a Chinese compound, it's a mixed compound, this one. Because Ryo is the Chinese pronunciation of the kanji, which means both. And then we have Gawa. Technically also Kawa, but yeah, usually nowadays found as Gawa because it's used as a suffix. It means side of something, or then by extension simply part, but yeah, more specifically would be side. By the way, can be also side of something or taking someone's side technically. Side as in someone's side. But yeah, in general, side. So literally both sides, pretty easy. And by the way, yeah, the voicing is because, yeah, used as a suffix, or here technically simply as a part of a compound. It's of strictly Japanese origin, yeah, that's why. It's one of those here unaccented, so yeah, be careful. So both sides of the cheeks, so both cheeks, then we could say. Then we have the particle ni. I'd say in this case again, actually, with the meaning on. So yeah, not specifically the location usually used with verbs of existence, because we don't have a verb of existence technically here, as we'll see in a second. But on as in something is location as in contact with that location, positioned in that in a specific spot. And yeah, that's because, well, first we have chisai again, small. Then we have Denki Bukuro. Wonder if I find it as is, but I have doubts. Because usually there shouldn't be a thing in the real world. Yeah, can't find it. It comes clearly from Denki, again, electricity, electrical, you can also then adapt it. And that Bukuro is actually Fukuro. Again, the voicing for the reason already mentioned. It means accent on the last syllable. I wonder if I can find the etymology of it. Oh yeah, in the meantime, I can mention that it means bag, sack, pouch. Oh yeah, in our case, perfect as that. Okay, I could find it. It might come from fukumu, a verb which means to include. Actually, also used, by the way, still in contemporary Japanese. It's not an archaic one. Could also be related simply to. I noticed the similarity. It's most likely the same root. Fukureru. This one unaccented though, which means to swell. So it wouldn't be. Could be related to both. So contain. You contain things in a bag, sack, and so on. A bag, sack, pouch, expanding. So yeah, because of those. Oh yeah, so it becomes electric sacks, we could say here, pouches. Yeah, we can confirm its accent because of. Well, actually, I wonder if I find it straight up as a suffix technically. Let me quickly check. I have doubts because it's not a common one technically. Yeah, no, can find it. My guess is again apply the usual rule of with compounds. So actually the accent on the bu instead of the accent of Fukuro on its own on the last mora, on its first mora, because it's the first mora of the second word part of the compound. Yeah, we can confirm it. Object particle O, Motsu, to hold technically, implied in one's hands. Yeah, by extension, then to have, to possess, even that. So yeah, here it says so far it has on both sides of the cheeks, on both cheeks, we could simply say, small electric pouches. And then it says Pinchi no toki ni Hoden suru. And yeah, we have first and foremost is Pinchi, which comes from pinch, from English. So actually pretty used in Japanese, as we see, also elsewhere, accented just like in English on the P. So pinch, then simply by extension, tough spot, bind, crisis, predicament. Oh yeah, straight up the term pinch. Possessive particle no, toki, time, moment, occasion, and so on. Used with verbs, and honestly also in this case, despite using a noun with the possessive particle no, we can then adapt it in English simply as a when. More literally in Japanese it's then we have the particle ni at a specific moment, at the time, moment, and so on of a pinch. So when in a pinch, by adapting it. And then we have Hoden. We check its accent. I think an accent because it's a Chinese compound, of course. It is. And yeah, it notice that then again, yeah, that one is again electricity. The Ho before it means to set free, release, and so on. So release, emit, we could also say, electricity. So yeah, discharging. Technically, also straight up simple discharging of a battery. Here clearly, actually, as in the term of an electrical discharge. So, even more literally, electricity emitted. A noun, like most of these Chinese compounds are, that can be made into a verb by adding suru, literally to do. So to do discharging, electrical discharging, so to discharge electricity, so to emit electricity. So here it says, yeah, it emits, it discharges electricity at the moment in which of a pinch, when in a pinch. Oh yeah, we can proceed. No nicknames, even though I was tempted, you have seen that it was a female one, to call it Choo Choo, to call her Choo Choo, in honor of the one in from Pokémon Special. But yeah, we'll keep, like all other Pokémons, without the nickname to see the proper names. Here we have something new. It says Pikachu wa dareka no pasokon no boxu. Then we have quotes boxu ichi ni. Ah yeah, first we have Pikachu, of course, topic particle wa. Dareka comes from dare, who, when we add the K, the interrogative particle, we make the corresponding some word. So in the case of who, actually someone, somebody. The accent of dare is on the da, on the first mora, and it keeps, it stays on then there also when we add K. So someone, we have the possessive particle no, so of someone, someone's, passo con, then we have PC, possessive particle again, box, box, the Pokemon boxes, but yeah, from English. Notice again the doubling of the consonant, the additional U because the consonants, most consonants in Japanese can stay on their own except for N. By the way, the U of ku is barely heard if at all because it's written of unvoiced consonants, so yeah, bokusu, closer to x. Yeah, box. Accented just like in English. We have the in quotations because it's its proper name. It's name. Box again. Now the number one most likely read with its most common reading on its own, so the Chinese one ichi. Then we have the particle ni. Two most likely in this case, but we'll see. Yeah. Ooh, I actually take it to finish it. Oh yeah, okay, perfect. Exactly, because after written, surprisingly, it says tenso sareta. Tenso, Chinese compound, as you might have guessed, most likely unaccented, but we'll see. It is. It means transfer of a call, patient, and so on. Forwarding also a letter, email, and so on. Transfer also of data. Works technically actually in our case. Again, technically a noun. We can make it into a verb by adding suru. Here, although we have sareta, we change suru into sareru. It's completely irregular, so we straight up have to remember to make the passive form of the verb. So the passive form of suru is sareru. Be done. So also used for the passive forms of verbs made with a combination of a noun, more often than not a Chinese compound, but not only, plus suru. Passive forms are verbs and verbs, so yeah, we have to remember that, we can then simply drop the ru to make the continuative form technically, to then add ta to make the ta form, and so yeah, past form of the verb in plain speech. So yeah, here it said, I quickly show it actually by going back. As for Pikachu, then we would go to the end. It was transferred to the box of the PC of someone, the box one, we have the name. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, there I didn't actually press it. But yeah, we'll quickly, we don't have time anyway to continue. We'll actually quickly go back to Viridian City And yeah, as I suspected, also because luckily we actually got Pikachu. Yeah, I wanted to get it. We couldn't miss Pikachu. But yeah, I'm going back to Viridian City here by going through Route 2 as usual. We'll take it as a chance to heal, of course. But even more so, as we'll see in a second, but yeah, first let's heal quickly. Perfect. And then we'll actually access the PC. We'll check these things another time, I'd say. Here, let's simply choose. Yeah, I wanted to come here to get Pikachu. Between all these, as much as it hurts me to say it, it makes the most sense to leave one of the two insect Pokemon of the two worms. Yeah, of course, between the two, Caterpie is the weakest one technically because we have Beedle, Weedle has the poison needle as we have seen. So yeah, for now let's do it like this. As much as it hurts me because yeah, I love Caterpie, the Caterpie line. But yeah, we'll eventually get it back. Let's quickly go back to Viridian Forest so that we are ready for next time. I wanted to heal and especially get Pikachu, which by the way, before I forget, let's actually also put it in front for now, since it's the weakest one. Okay. Yeah, so we can come here. And again, I'll actually save here. So we'll see again the cool intro next time when we restart. So let's save our game. Perfect. Oh yeah, so we can close the game. And yes, so today we continued FireRed. We continued in particular Viridian Forest. We didn't finish it as expected, but yeah, also considering that we found Pikachu at the end. Good thing we did, because yeah, I didn't want to miss it. But yeah, next time we should be on Monday, unless plans change as usual. We'll continue Viridian Forest. This time I think we should be able to finish it. There are, of course, as you might have guessed, more trainers. We'll definitely encounter at least some wild Pokemons, but yeah, I think we should be fine and at the very least get to the end of it. But yeah, of course, we also have a stream on Sunday, mostly just for fun, unless plans change. I'm still undecided if we should play more Tomodachi Life immediately. I think it would be better for the next one, or something else. I still give it some thought, so I actually keep it as a surprise. But yeah, you see it maybe even straight up tomorrow when I open the stream. I kind of have an idea of an alternative game to play. Also that, funny enough, is relevant in a way that you see why, which one, if we aren't playing that. But yeah, we have that. On Wednesday, I still mention it, another Let's Learn Japanese with series, which currently is Super Mario Bros. 2, as in the USA one, the international one, in its Super Mario Advanced version. That's why we have it. This one next here. And yeah, so that's all. See you next time.